Hey guys, welcome to S&D Coffee Shop. So this is our first episode where we're going to talk to you a little bit about making the best coffee for you and share some of our learnings in the process. So we take a bit of a science-based coffee making approach. So we built this about a year ago and we believe in the precision of coffee making as well as the art. So I'm going to start off with firstly letting you have a look at our setup here. I want to thank you, shout out to our sponsors, Timu and Sheen, for sponsoring us with all this great stuff. Those kids in the factories are doing such a great job. Keep it up. Now I'm going to talk to you about our prime item. This is the Breville Barista Touch. Barista S decided to get this one because as a beginner, this is the best one that you could probably work with since it has so many options and visual display. I'm going to start off with this one. What we want to do, how we want to set it up. So today I'm going to start with this bottomless portafilter. This is quite good. I'm going to tell you in a second why we do this, how to set up, get it ready to go. And then while we got that ready, I'm going to decide which beans I want to go with. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the beans before we decide to go with them. We got the Arabica mediums, we got Arabica dark, and we got the Robusta beans. So understanding when you want them and how you prefer them. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Arabica, because Arabica beans, they're typically, you would find them on the darker range in the Western society, in Starbucks and things like that. The darker beans are the more popular ones. It's easier to roast them like that, and they can often just mask it with sugars and syrups. But if you're looking for a little bit more of a lighter flavor, you might want to go with the medium ones, and usually the higher quality coffee beans. You don't actually need that much sugar or anything even sometimes to cover it, because then you can taste the beans in quite a nice flavor. So I usually go with 3 tablespoons, which is going to give you exactly the level that you want. I've done it enough times to understand this is going to be 18 grams. So 3 tablespoons typically is 18 grams. If you want to weigh it out, you can, especially when you're starting off. Weighing is important because we are taking a science-based approach. I'm going to pop that there. So we got it over here. We're set up. What we're going to do now, I'm going to bring this up, and we've got set it on a 9 grind at the moment. I'll talk to you a little bit about the grinds in a second while this is happening. So you're going to understand why it's important to grind at a certain setting, and for each machine it's slightly different. So let's just wait for this to be done. Okay, so we started with a 9 grind. I'll explain to you when we're doing the espresso extraction why the grind size is important. But for now, let's just set it up in a way. We use this WDT. I don't think it actually does anything, but it's one of those things where you don't have too much disposable income, so you just end up buying things you don't need. So set that up, put it back, and we're gonna go with, this is the most important tool. So this one here, we're gonna use this as first as a distributor on one side, kind of just even up those grounds. Now on the other side, we got a preset tamp that levels it to the point where you don't have to put too much pressure. It's right where you need it to be. And look, the key thing, guys, always in life, just keep everything nice and tidy and organized. Otherwise, you will find a lot of inefficiencies. So keep it nice and tidy, ready for the next use. All right, so we're pretty happy with that. What we're gonna do now, this is another thing that I don't know if it actually makes a difference. It's called a filter, but apparently it helps to distribute the coffee. So I'm gonna put it in there, get rid of it, set it up, have it ready to go. Like I said, everything back where it came from. Even clean that if I can. All right, so next step here, we're gonna discuss a little bit about which coffee mug we're gonna use. So in that process, firstly, let's start off with actually getting our milk. Let's get our milk first. And today I'm gonna go with the full cream. Full cream is actually quite the good consistency for a latte. We got light milk, we got also oat milk here as well. So some of the reasons I would say we go for different types of milk is based on, obviously, if you're lactose intolerant, you can't have dairy milk. But I think if you can, that is the best consistency. Full fat milk is gonna be the best one to create that latte art. So I'm gonna start off with 200 mils of this because I'm making a latte today, guys. Start off there. So stop there. All right, so that's 200 mils. I'm happy with that. Let's put the milk back. So everything I'm teaching you today, guys, it's all come from, different places of learnings. I've been to, all these from the rivers of Costa Rica, the mountains of Guatemala, the favelas of Brazil, and even, learn from the mamacitas of Colombia. It's all teaching me different things, and embracing different cultures is what's allowed me to learn about the history of coffee. So talking about the milk right now, while we have that milk already in place, I want to talk to you a little bit about different types of milk. So as I was saying, full fat milk is the best because it has the most fat content level to create that sort of that texture that you're looking for. You can use light milk and oat milk. It's a decent variation, but then I would say other variations like, you know, soy milk or almond milk, it does froth very quickly and does come with a little bit of a taste difference. So it's not my preference. Now we've decided that, and we've got the milk on the side. We're going to decide which cup we're going to go back to. All right. So we've got 3 cups, 3 choices right now. I'm actually going to go with this one here. This is a 12-ounce cup. It's the best for a latte given the volume. When we talk about volume, we had 200 mils of milk. That's going to increase by 1/3. So in order to create that latte and have that nice latte art, you want a larger size capacity cup. If you're looking to make a cappuccino, for example, you want to start with like 140 mils of milk, and that's going to increase by 1/2 because you want a lot of foam, right? So this size cup is actually pretty good for that. This is a 10-ounce cup. And then we got this little one here is an 8-ounce cup made for flat whites. Flat whites are about 130 mils of milk, and you want to increase that by 1/3 also. So you can usually fit it into this. All right, now that we know which cup we want, we're going to start off with this. And like I said, we are making a, I think, medium. So I'm going to go with a vanilla. I actually like to have a lighter flavor with that one. With the darker ones, I don't mind a caramel. So 1 shot of syrup there. We've got it ready. And now we're going to use our most important tool. This is the scale. Especially if you're learning science-based coffee making, scale is super important because you want to measure and note down all the things that you learn until you kind of becomes automated. So once this starts, I'm going to bring it here, set it up in a way it should zero in with the cup on there. Okay, I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to start brewing. So it's important now to see where we're going to get to with this. I want to get to essentially twice the volume of coffee beans, which is 18 grams to make 36 grams of espresso. It started now. You see the bottomless portafilter helps you see the evenness of the tank. So if you see those striations, there is a little bit of splattering. Okay, it's going, we're at 28, 17 seconds, slowly still coming out, and stop there. So we've got to get about 22 seconds. So what does that mean? I'm going to explain that to you in a second. So while I'm explaining to you about espresso extraction, I'm going to clean up my setup like I usually do. There is a bin. You can, some people buy bins, you pop them straight into there, but I actually like to keep it nice and tidy the whole time. So as I do this, I'll explain to you a little bit about the extraction. So for me, that one there extracted in 22 seconds. The key you're looking for is between 25 to 30 seconds to get that 36 grams. And what you kind of do is, if it was less than that amount, that means it extracted too quick. So if it's less than that, you want to reduce your grind size. So that was a 9 grind. You want to reduce it to a 8 grind, which essentially makes it, which makes it finer. Essentially, by making it finer, it allows the water to go through it slower, which will get you to that 25 to 30 range. If, let's say, it was above 30 seconds, I was on a 9 grind, I would want to increase it. So I would like to increase it to a 10, which would make it coarser. That would allow the water to go through it even faster. So understanding that those numbers are not going to be the same for you. Every machine is slightly different, but just understanding what you're getting and determining how you do it. And the reason I do it is I actually measure it on the scale as it extracts. So I think that's a very good metric to use. All right, now that we have that, one important thing that I did forget just now, I want to brew that every single time you do it, because any coffee remains that stay there will stick to your next one and you'll have issues determining why your coffee didn't extract well. Let's pop that away. Actually, we can keep it here. We're going to use it for the milk. All right, now we got the milk. All right, let's start again. Get our timer ready. We're going to start off first by just getting rid of any excess air in there. We'll do it actually while it's down, see if it does it down. Otherwise, it's going to squirt everywhere. Get it out. All right, now we get ready for it. Putting the tip right here, almost like a smiley face. You want to put it in the right eye of the smiley face, keeping it just at its surface. So for a latte, I want to do about 8 seconds of aeration. Okay, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm just going to put it in now. Okay, you you just want to create those micro bubbles. You don't want to be doing anything more than that. If you increase it, and if you want a cappuccino, you can go for about 10 seconds. You know, so understanding what type of coffee you're making, but for the latte art, you want that sort of consistency that you can kind of still spread the milk without it sitting too much at the top. So now we're just kind of texturing the milk, breaking it down. Essentially, all those bubbles are integrating, and it should create that nice consistency. Sort of like wet paint is what you're looking for. So we're going to stop for about 55 seconds. Usually you want to touch it, it's like until it's warm. Sorry, hot to touch. That's what your key is, essentially, the indicators. But you know, each machine is slightly different. It warms at different times. We're going to stop it there and give it all a wipe. Stop there. Let's clean the surfaces a little bit. All right, now the key here. We'll just give it a little bit of a stir, pop any bubbles we have here. As you can see, my milk pitcher is handleless with a sharp spout, which gives me that preciseness and mobility that you need to create latte art. I'm going to start off by holding my cup at a tilt and then pouring in from a height so it cuts straight through the crema until it's about halfway full. For the first layer, you want to bring the pitcher to the surface and pour in the middle with a slight push while also flattening the cup at the same time. You continue this for each layer, and on your last one, you want to create that heart shape, bring it back to the top and cut straight through. Alright, so that's kind of what you want to work with. That's a pretty simple design, I would say, a bit of a rose. If you don't like your latte art or you want to look a little bit prettier, you pop a little bit of this chalk powder on this side. Just remember to clean it up as usual. But I'm pretty happy with what you got there. And essentially, guys, this is what your final design will look like. Again, shout out to Little Marionette for the beans roasted here in Sydney. I'll leave it in the link below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the first episode. Next episode, we're going to talk to you about how we can make croissants from scratch. And see you then. Catch you later.